Hi there! Welcome back! Today, we're going to talk about a super important skill that helps us understand what we read even better. It's called making connections. We'll make connections between information viewed and personal experiences. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Making connections is a strategy by which readers relate or connect the content of a text to their own experiences, to other texts they have read, or to the world around them. These connections are called text to self, text to text, and text to world. Let's explore each one. First up is text to self connection. Text to self connection is connecting the content of the text to one's own life experiences, feelings, or personal knowledge. This is when something in the story reminds you of your own life. For example, let's say you're reading a book about a kid who has a pet dog. If you have a pet dog too, you might think, hey, that's just like me. This helps you understand and enjoy the story even more. Next is text-to-text connection. Text-to-text connection is connecting the text being read to other texts like books, articles, or movies the reader has encountered. This is when something in one story reminds you of another story you have read. Maybe both stories have similar characters, settings, or events. Let's look at an example. If you've read Percy Jackson and then read Harry Potter, you might notice that both stories are about young heroes who discover they have special powers and go on exciting adventures. That's a text-to-text connection. Finally, we have text-to-world connection. Text-to-world connection is relating the text to larger world issues, events, or knowledge. This is when something in the story makes you think about the world around us. It could be something happening in your community, in the news, or even in history. For example, you're reading a book about saving the environment, like The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. You might think about all the ways we can do to protect our planet, just like the characters in the story. That's a text-to-world connection. Making these connections helps us enjoy stories so much more and remember information better, deepens our understanding, and find more meaning in what we read. Let's go and make connections. Let's read Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and make connections. Let's go! Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess named Snow White. She lived with her stepmother, the Queen, who was very jealous of Snow White's beauty. The Queen had a magic mirror, and every day she asked it, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" The mirror always replied, "You, O Queen, are the fairest of them all." One day, the mirror told the Queen that Snow White was now the fairest in the land. The Queen became very angry and ordered a huntsman to take Snow White into the forest and kill her there. But the huntsman couldn't hurt Snow White because she was so kind and innocent. He told her to run away and never come back. Feeling lost and afraid, Snow White wandered through the forest until she found a little cottage. The cottage belonged to 7 dwarfs who work in a diamond mine. When the dwarfs came home and found Snow White, she told them her story. They invited her to stay with them, and she happily agreed. The Queen found out that Snow White was still alive. She was furious and decided to disguise herself as an old woman to trick Snow White. She made a poisoned apple and went to the dwarf's cottage. Snow White took a bite of the apple and fell into a deep sleep. The dwarfs were very sad and placed Snow White in a glass coffin. One day, a prince who had heard about Snow White's beauty came to see her. He was so moved by her that he kissed her. The kiss broke the spell and Snow White woke up. Snow White and the prince fell in love and lived happily ever after. The Queen, however, was never heard from again. Let's start making text-to-self connection. Can you relate to Snow White's experience of finding friends in unexpected places? Or have you ever felt jealous like the evil queen? How did you handle those feelings? Here is a possible answer. In Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Snow White finds solace and friendship with the seven dwarfs after feeling lost and afraid in the forest. This reminds me of a time when I moved to a new city and felt lonely and scared, but eventually made friends who made me feel at home. Next, let's have text-to-text connection. How does the character, setting, or theme of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs compare to another book you've read? Here's a possible answer. The wicked queen's jealousy and desire to be the fairest in the land in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is similar to the plot of Cinderella, where the stepsisters are envious of Cinderella's beauty and kindness. Both stories involve characters who face adversity due to the jealousy of others, but ultimately find happiness. You are doing great! So let's have the last one, the text-to-world connection. What event in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs can you relate to the real-world events, issues, or phenomena? Here's a possible answer. The story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs highlights the dangers of vanity and obsession with physical beauty. This theme is relevant today in a world where social media often promotes unrealistic beauty standards, leading to issues like low self-esteem and body image disorders among young people. And that's it! I am sure you also did an awesome job. Congratulations! I hope you learned a lot today. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more fun and educational videos. See you next time!